Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss the chmod system call. The chmod system call, just like the chmod command, is used to change the permissions of a file. So in this video, we are not going to talk about the chmod command, but the use of chmod system call in a C program. So let us start by looking into the manual page for the chmod system call. So write man to chmod. So you can see that the chmod system call along with the couple mode are used to change the permissions of a file. So the header file required is sys stat.h, and the chmod system call, it takes two parameters. First is the file name and second is the mode. Mode is the permissions that we want to assign to that particular file. The fchmod, this can also be used for the same purpose, but the only difference is the second parameter is same, you can see here. The difference is that here, rather than writing the file name, you will write the file descriptor of the file. So you will have to acquire the file descriptor first using the open system call. So if you have already used the read write open system call, you will be aware about the concept of file descriptor. Otherwise, you can simply use the chmod command to give the file name as the first parameter and the permissions as the second parameter. Now the first parameter is pretty straightforward, which is the file name, but how you give the permissions in the second parameter. So if you scroll down, here you can see this. These are the ways of giving the permissions in the second parameter. So I'll discuss this separately to make it simpler. So basically you will be required to specify 4 bits or 4 values in the second parameter, right? The first one, if you are a beginner, you should write it 0 only. Okay, what this means is actually it tells you about whether you want to use sticky bit or you want to set the UID or the SGID value. Okay, so these are this requires a separate discussion altogether. There's already a video that I have made on this. I'll specify the link. If you want to go through it, you can watch that particular video. If you are a beginner, just keep it simple and give only 0 at this particular position. The next 3 bits, the second bit is for the owner of the file, the one who has created the file. The second parameter is for the group members. Group members are kind of friends. Okay, so let's suppose you own something. You might want to have full permissions on them, on that particular thing. But to the group members, you might want to give certain privileges as compared to all others who are or who can use that particular file. So in this case, let's suppose you are working on a project with a few of your friends. So you being the owner might want to have all the permissions. So read, write and execute. But to your friends who are working on the same project, on the same file, you might want to give them read, write permissions, but not execute. Whereas to all others, you might want to give only read, neither write nor execute. So you need to tell, or you need to specify here 3 digits. First one will be for the owner, then for the group, and last for others. So now how will you specify that digit? So all of these permissions, read, write and execute, we identify them with a number. So for read it is 4, for write it is 2 and execute it is 1. So whatever set of permissions you want to give, you will end up these 3 numbers. So for the owner, in this particular example, we want to give the owner all the permissions. So 4 plus 2, 6 plus 1, 7. So for the owner, the number will be 7. For the group members, we want to give read write. So read write is 4 plus 2. So that will be 6. For others, we want to give only read. So only read is 4. So this will be our final value of the mode, the second parameter 0764. Alright, so now let us write the program and see how this works. So let's create a file, man permission.c. So per.c is my program name. Oh, sorry, not man, nano, per.c. So header file we have seen. What we require is sys/stat.h int main. Okay, so I'm going to use chmod. Two parameters. First is the file name. So I have a existing file. The name is file2. Then I want to give the permissions that we have just talked about. 0, because I don't want to get into that sticky bit SUID, SGID stuff. So 0 by default. I want to give all the permissions to the owner. So 7, read, write X, 4 plus 2 plus 1. Read, write for the group. So 4 plus 2, that is 6. And only read for others. So only read is 4. Right, so that's the code for my program. Very straightforward, but I like to add one more statement here. One before change mode and another after the chmod command. Just I want to see what were the permissions earlier and what are the permissions after we have changed them. Okay, so we'll be able to verify it. So if I want to check the permissions, I can use the ls-l command itself. So I will use the system function here. So this function allows you to run any command within the program itself. So ls-l, and I will write file2. So this will show me the original permissions before I change them. Then I'll run the same command afterwards so that we are able to see what are the permissions after we have changed them. So does the effect takes place or not? So since I'm using system function, I need to include the header file for that. And that will be stdlib.h. All right, let's save it. So let's compile gcc per.c. Oops, there are so many errors. What happened? All right, so silly mistake, didn't close the double quotes here as well as here. That's it. Clear, compile it again. Sorry. Compile it. Right. Now let's run this. So you can see here, the original permissions were read write for the user, only read for the group, and only read for others. And we have changed it to everything: read write execute for the user, read write for the group, only read for others. So we have successfully learned the use of chmod system call. Okay, so that's it for this particular lecture. In the next video, we will focus on the chown, change own system call, which will help us to change the owners or the ownership of a file. So see you in the next video. Thank you.